So, hello and welcome to episode 5 of Coaching from the Desert podcast. I'm Dave A. Cornelius, affectionately called Dr. Dave. In this episode, we explore the intersection of coaching and compassion with a remarkable leader in the nonprofit sector, Tori A. Taj, CEO of Child Crisis Arizona. Tori has transformed the lives of countless children and families by advocating for safe, supportive, and nurturing communities. Today, she shares how her journey in leadership evolved into a deep appreciation for professional coaching as a tool for resilience, healing, and sustainable growth. From navigating complex challenges to fostering a culture of continuous development, Tori reveals how embedding coaching into the DNA of a nonprofit organization can unlock human potential and elevate purpose driven missions. Look, whether you're a coach, nonprofit professional, or simply passionate about meaningful leadership, this episode will inspire you to think differently about how we lead, support, and empower others in the most human-centered way. So let's just welcome Tori, not just, but let's welcome Tori. And so, Tori, I'm going to have a little simple questions about you, either singing for us or you're going to share a statement that inspires you.
Oh boy. All right, I'm ready, Dr. Dave.
Go for it.
Okay, so singing. Imagine all the people.
Mm.
So Imagine by John Lennon. I'm not going to sing the whole song, but I love the part like, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. It's just an incredible song.
Yeah.
I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Just, it really speaks to my heart. And so that's the song from my heart this morning.
I really love that song. And as a musician, I just love playing that song as well. That's such a beautiful song. Yeah. So, 30-second elevator pitch about who you are. I know I gave a big splurge about who you are, but in your own words.
Oh, I'm Tori Taj. I'm a mom, mother of three. I'm a gardener. I'm also the CEO at Child Crisis Arizona. And I've spent my entire career in nonprofit leadership. Nonprofit, it's not a way to operate. It's just a tax status by the IRS. So I have a deep commitment to, building a community and leading a purpose-driven life. So my journey started as a volunteer right from Arizona State University, and my youngest child, 3 of 3, just graduated college, and she graduated as a Sun Devil. So forks up, let's go, Sun Devils.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. I remember seeing your post. I had to give it a like with a heart. So like, yeah, we love that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an accomplishment. And I don't know, for me, there's been many things that I can be proud of, but nothing that I am not more proud of anything except for my children. And so
Mm.
there it is.
Well, that's a great accomplishment. So let's jump in. You've spent many years in nonprofit leadership. So how has your leadership philosophy, you know, evolved during this time, particularly in high stakes, human centered environments such as child and family services? That's a big deal.
Well, I would definitely say that my leadership has evolved over time, and it's still evolving. And you'd think by mid 50s you'd have it figured out, but it's still continuing to show up in different ways. And I think as the years pass, I get a little bit more bold, a little bit more brave, and it seems to be working for me. So I love to dream big, and I love to expect more out of the people that I'm working with. So in my leadership, it's I expect a lot out of myself, but I think I continue to expect a lot out of the people who I get to surround myself with. So that could be employees, directors, board members, volunteers. But I feel like if I'm all in. I want everyone to be all in. So high expectations is definitely one of the things that I think about and how I've shifted over the years. It used to just be for myself, but now it's for others that are around me as well.
No, it's important to have some level of expectations of being able to communicate that to whoever is in, your ecosphere, right? Or
Yeah.
your ecosystem.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel that, as my leadership has evolved and I expect more from others, I get to continue to dream even bigger. And my abundance theory, it used to be scarcity so many years ago, but like with each passing year, my abundance theory gets bigger and bigger, and I expect more, and it happens. And so I think that that's definitely something that I have nurtured over the years, and I just see it performing and manifesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's true because, Child Crisis Arizona has experienced tremendous growth under your leadership. So, what pivotal decisions or turning points have really enabled the organization to scale its impact while really remaining true to its mission?
Yeah. I think at Child Crisis Arizona, one of the decisions we had was growth. And that's what the board and those who came before me really said, this is what we need in order to be relevant and to continue our services in Arizona for children and families. And so when we made that decision about growth and scaling operations and services, that was a huge game changer for the organization. And I think one of the things when you hear Child Crisis Arizona, it used to be where, kind of young children were the focus, but we redefined who is a child and what is the age group of a child and what does that look like. And so we said instead of just serving those youngest of young children, the 0 to 5-year-olds, we wanted to serve then elementary age school kids and then
Mhm.
the teens, and now we've even extended into the foster teens who are in something called extended foster care, and that's when instead of aging out at 18 they can opt in to one of three providers, and we happen to be one at Child Crisis Arizona, and we get to serve children and youth who are actually 18 to 21, and they are young adults. And so, this abundance theory and really looking at children and youth as a continuum of services.
I could, the abundance mindset is something that I lean heavily into, and I could really connect with, where you're centered, on that way of thinking. And you sent me a picture the other day of you with that red tag winner. I saw that when champion. Tell us a little bit about that. That's part of the growth, right?
Yeah, well, that red award that we just got, the real estate development, and who would have thought that, a nonprofit social benefit organization could get this new office project of the year, but we did. And I guess it was just thinking big. And even though we're not the biggest new office project in the Phoenix metro area, we were innovative enough to be able to, receive that award. And I think it has to do with our innovative mindset and our sustainability approach and going all solar and being 100% net zero. And I don't know, Dave, I don't know if you can see these plants behind me. Those are
Yeah.
real plants it's a real plant wall, and it's in our lobby of our new wellness center. And so it's just those kind of ideas really helped us to achieve that real estate development award because it's just light and bright and different. And there's gardens and there's wellness space, and it's sustainable. It's net zero.
I can't wait to come up and see it. I told you that already, but I have to come up and see it. Maybe we could have like a garden on the wall where we're growing tomatoes or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. And I've always been a gardener and I love it. But a lot of the children and families that we serve at Child Crisis Arizona, they live in apartments, and maybe it's, three different families living in a
Hmm.
two-bedroom apartment. whole families are, each taking one of the bedrooms. And so the kitchen is, you know, it's hard to be able to cook just for your family. And so they're eating out a lot. And so we decided that it was really important to be able to um, offer, a kitchen and a garden and green space here in the
Yeah.
neighborhood that truly needs us and who's utilizing our services so that they can enjoy and see that there still is a way to, do some container gardening and small, raised beds. And so it's just been such a joy to see the families come in and get to appreciate it.
That's so good. That's so good. So, how are you dealing with like, you know, burnout? Because it's such a thing in nonprofits, right? I mean, you work yourself trying to do good. So, how are you using or planning to use professional coaching to help staff remain engaged, balanced, and supported? Because, coaching is such a great tool for helping people to make progress in their journey.
Yeah, you're right. The work at Child Crisis Arizona, compassion fatigue is a
Mm,
thing. It's a real life thing. And so sometimes the direct service providers working with children and families get exhausted and tired. And so in this brand new wellness center, we said that we wanted to create a great environment, not just for the families and the children that we're serving here, but for our employees. And that was kind of a new way of thinking
yeah.
because we said we want everyone to have a beautiful space with natural light in their office area. So every single space in this new building we have 100 employees, 100 out of 400 employees work in this new center, and everybody has access to natural light, whether it's in their windows in their office or community space with natural light. And so gone are the days. It was just a year ago when I was sharing an office with four people, and everybody was kind of loaded up in offices and areas. And today we have beautiful space. And I think building that culture of wellness, you have to be really intentional. And it's not just for the clients that we serve. Ultimately, it's for them, but we have to take care of ourselves first. And
Yeah.
so taking care of ourselves and making sure we have what we need in order to avoid that burnout and that we're taking care of each other. That's really, what we're focused on. And it's been fun seeing people in our mindfulness Zen space that we have a room just for that. And, we have a workout room and we have an area for sound baths. We work a lot, but there are the spaces here for people to be able to check out and take a break, which is nice.
So go a little deeper, right? And talk about the role of that you envision coaching complementing the therapeutic and social work models for families and youth.
Yeah. So, counseling, social work, if you will, those are very critical. Our staff are helping the children and families heal from trauma
Mm,
in many cases. But when you add in the coaching element, it's not just counseling or it's not just case management. Coaching is future focused, and we ask a lot of questions, as you know. So it's powerful in a different way because we're asking, well, why is that important? What do you need to do? And asking from other people's perspectives, what is it that they need for themselves as an employee, as a parent? What's important to them? And so we have this thing we call, why Wednesdays.
yeah.
And we ask each other a lot of whys. And it really just kind of invites in that coaching mindset of being able to ask questions and think about things, and we don't have to do them the same way that we've always done it. And so we do that with each other. I think our culture of just, with our colleagues, and then we hope that, this coaching mindset trickles down into the individuals that we're working with. And for example, we do lots in the foster care space. And the young adults, as they age out of the foster care system, they no longer have case managers or case specialists. They now have success coaches.
Nice.
And
Nice.
we have, staff that get to work with, these young adults and they're success coaches. And doesn't that sound a lot better than a case
Yeah. And a
manager
caseworker or
or a
case
case
manager.
specialist,
Yeah.
right? Or a
Yeah.
social worker. So these success coaches, they're helping these young adults, ease into young adulthood and all the things that go with it. And they're asking the questions, and it might not be what the success coach thinks is the best idea, but they're asking the young adults or the person they're working with, well, what's important to you?
Yeah.
And because really that's what it's about, right? We're not going to do anything that we um, don't feel moved to do and that isn't important to us. And so asking those questions, that's really the culture that I'm trying to instill here with each other. And then again, this trickle down approach.
No, because organizational culture is really important and essential for sustaining, your impact. So, how are you intentionally fostering this culture of trust, continuous learning, and really psychological safety at Child Crisis Arizona?
Yeah. Well, I take full responsibility that things start from the top and I have to, not just um talk the talk, but I have to walk the walk. And so I'm really intentional about being direct, asking those questions, and really trying my best to be present when I'm with someone and listening. We can't always do what everybody wants, but at least we can ask the question and listen and try our best to understand. So I think me walking the walk and making sure that I'm doing that is really important. And about the psychological safety piece, Dr. Dave, I really try and lead with my authentic voice.
Hmm.
And many of the individuals that I work with, they know exactly that they never have to guess with me. And I think that's so important in leadership because I like the directness approach because you always know what somebody else is thinking, or if something's not right, you're not second guessing that, oh, I wonder what she or he thinks about my performance or this or that. So I like real-time feedback. Sometimes it's like I don't even wait a beat, but I'm learning as well. And so I have
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
that balance. So I really feel that being authentic and saying exactly what you feel is my way of leading. And I hope that, I know that the individuals I work with, they will tell me exactly what they're feeling because I invite it. And they know that I'm going to tell them exactly what I'm feeling also. And so I love that ability to go back and forth and have that safety of disagreement or questioning.
Yeah, look, as a leader, there's nothing more important than setting an intention, but also being aware of the impact of your intention. Many leaders, they're not aware of the impact of their intentions, right? Even though their intentions may be good, right? So, how is that playing out in your organization?
Yeah. I think just people feeling that they can speak up,
Mm,
ask for help. They know I'm really happy when I see people in our meditation room. And if they
mm.
need help and they need to pause and take a break, if they need to bring their children to work, we're a wellness center for children and families, for goodness sake. We need for, everybody to really understand that this is a safe place to bring children. And we understand as professionals, as people, we have family issues. At Child Crisis Arizona, I always say crisis is our middle name. We get it. We get it. We get crisis. And we need to be adaptable and flexible. And it's that understanding that we need to bring to the workplace, that we do bring to the workplace.
Yeah.
And so that's really important for us to, make sure that staff will know that they will be met with compassion and they understand that, one of my mottos is it's sometimes easier to ask for forgiveness than to just seek the permission. And it's, more efficient that way
Yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah. And it's a sign of trust that
Yeah.
you're looking at. So
Yeah.
tell me, how has coaching benefited you, or how do you think it could assist others in developing a more empowering leadership style?
Yeah. Coaching is a muscle that I am still building. I'm still a baby coach, Dr. Dave. Some people have done this, but
Yeah,
um, it kind of goes against leading and guiding. Coaching is more about the, stepping back, asking the questions, and then just being a thought partner and a support to the other person. And so one of the biggest shifts that I've had, professionally, it's helped me, but personally with my kids. And, over the last, let's see, I'm 28, 24, and 22, but really the last 10 years. So, when they started becoming adults, um, you have to parent differently. And I
yeah,
think just learning about coaching and really embracing this mindset, um, guiding less and still being there and being that rock for your, children. But it's really helped me because it's all about, again, it's what somebody's intentions, dreams, their vision is, and then being there to ask the questions and then seeing what the motivation is and maybe, putting on my advice hat if that's needed. But really, it's just about being there and being supportive. So I would say, um, coaching for me has really helped me personally more than professionally, although professionally, is really important as well.
couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So, what advice would you give to like other nonprofit leaders considering a similar path of like integrating coaching into the organizations as you look to the future?
Yeah, coaching is hard. It is harder to be a coach than it is to be a leader at times. Although through coaching, you're going to have to let people fail sometimes. You're going to have to encourage them to try again if they want to. That's really hard as a leader. But if you're a nonprofit leader or a leader in the business world, I would, just say go for it. It's really changed my approach. And over this last decade, almost, I've been at Child Crisis Arizona a decade, and this kind of abundance mind shift and this coaching mindset, it's really helped me be successful in my career and really which trickles down to, this new wellness center at Child Crisis Arizona, my personal family. And I just really think that our employees, I know that they enjoy it. They like this approach. And I think we need to see more of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for giving your time today. Is there anything else you would like to say or even sing before I close?
Oh, sing again. You are my sunshine.
Love it.
That I love that song, You Are My Sunshine.
Yeah.
And so really, I think what we're here to do as coaches with this podcast, International Coaching Federation, our Arizona chapter, we want to we want to share what we've learned personally and for others out there. Coaching is a really, really strong tool and it can be brought in-house in businesses. It can be an individual thing, it can be a group setting thing, but I've found lots of success with coaching. And out of all the things I get to do, I love coaching. I love getting to lift up others and be
Mm.
their thought partner and just to be there for them. So it has been, 100% enjoyable for me. And I think that's it. Really, it's that abundance mindset and looking at what can be and then setting goals and getting it done.
So great, so great. So I'm so happy to have you today. As we wrap up this heart-centered conversation with Tori A. Taj, we're reminded that leading with compassion isn't just a value, it's a practice. Through her example at Child Crisis Arizona, Tori has shown how coaching can be a transformative force, nurturing the well-being of teams while advancing impactful community work. So if today's episode resonated with you, consider how coaching might support your team's resilience and growth. And don't forget to share this episode with colleagues or friends striving to make a difference. We have it posted on the icfarizona.org website. You'll find it in our social media channels. We even have our podcast out on Spotify and many other social media, other podcasting platforms as well. So join us next time on Coaching from the Desert as we continue to explore how coaching shapes leaders, teams, and the communities we serve. Next month, we're going to have Hassan Rafiq, and he'll be our guest on June 18 as we discuss coaching for social good, continuing this theme of how we're serving others. So until then, stay grounded, generous, and lead with heart.
Thank you, Dr. Dave.
You're most welcome.